Once upon a time, I met a fairly young man who has been out of prison, and his charge was he was part of the group who committed a murder, and he was struggling with the fact that he has a criminal record on his name, and he's struggling to get a job. But what he said to me stayed with me since then. He said to me, this happened to me because at the age that I needed my father the most to guide me, he was not available. So I ended up joining bad crews and bad company. Then ended up getting into this situation where he was part of a group which committed murder and ended up in jail. So when I heard this, I thought, well, that's your excuse of committing such a heinous crime. But later in life, I watched this interview.
12 guards are barely enough to ensure the safety around this inmate.
Remove the mask.
What is your name?
My name is Marvin Ernesto Medrano Vasquez.
How old are you?
I'm 41 years old.
You don't look 41. You look younger, like 35.
That's a good thing that you told me because I feel old.
Can I see your tattoos?
I'm S13.
When did you join this crime organization?
In 2004, I started my criminal record since I was 11 years old.
How did you first become involved?
When somebody is born with just a mom and the mom is working, you look for the streets. You look for somebody to help you out. I said, oh, my mom's poor, I need some shoes, I need some clothes, and I started robbing. Then I need a father figure because I didn't grow up with my father. And then I looked the group of gangs. Then I did a side, and I came right here to El Salvador, trying to change my life, but I seen that there were more gangs right here, and I started doing the same thing I did upstate.
This is no ordinary human being. This is not just a convicted criminal. It's someone who has been a notorious gang leader in a country called El Salvador, which everybody would know that it was the murder capital of the world, the most dangerous place on the planet Earth. And he is in prison on the account of killing 50 people, more than 50 people, he said. I'm not saying he has killed the most people in the world. I mean, there are still many other people who have committed serious murders into the millions, but they are not convicted criminals. They are there somewhere. Some of them are in Israel, some of them are in the Pentagon, but I'm not talking about that. But what this notorious criminal said touched my heart, made me think, made me flash back and think about what that young gentleman told me. He became this because his father wasn't available for him. The same thing. So I thought to myself, maybe there's something to this. This is not just a say. Maybe this is not just an excuse. Maybe this actually affects our children. Then curiosity led me to look for more other interviews, and I found tons of them. So I found this one.
Talk to me about where you grew up and what growing up was like for you.
I grew up here in Stockton, California, in a single-parent household. It was just my mother. Father wasn't really around. He was in and out. I have 6 brothers and 1 sister, so it was a large family. My mom was always working to provide for us, and she was always busy, didn't really have time to spend a lot of time with us. And I ended up getting involved with gangs at a young age, being that I'm one of the younger brothers and my older brothers were involved with gangs, and I didn't have someone to look up to. That was the people I had to look up to, was my brothers, and they were getting involved with the gang lifestyle, and I just looked up to them. That's when I started, hanging out in the streets. I wasn't able to play sports. I wasn't able to do things like the other kids because they had fathers or, whatever it was. So I ended up getting involved with gangs at a young age. At age 14, I was probably the first time I've been incarcerated.
Then another one.
And you grew up with both your parents?
Nah, not necessarily. It was a little tricky. Adopted. Had adoptive parents. Both my parents was on crack.
Your real parents were?
Both my real parents were users, yes.
So how was your life with the adopted family?
Shaky as hell. It wasn't something that was pleasant, but it wasn't something that was just all the way down the drain, if you understand what I'm saying, if you feel me. But for the most part, it was shaky as hell. I didn't get to spend much time with them. Mama always at work, night shift, working as a nurse, as an LVN. At St. Francis, always gone at nighttime, sleep during the daytime when I come home. From whatever I'm doing, running the streets, blase, blase, blah, school, whatever the case may be. Pops was a Rolling Stone. He was already out the house, in and out the house.
Then another one.
And tell me about your family growing up. You had both your parents?
My parents were never there. My mom was a drug addict. My dad was a drug addict, and he was always in prison all my life. And my mom was neglectful, to say the least. You know, always not being the mother that I needed, really.
You got my point. I think at this point we can all agree that there is some correlation between broken families and dysfunctional families and what kind of member of societies this brings off. And why does this even matter? Yes, it does matter. If you look at our continent, the continent of Africa, the numbers are starting to skyrocket. The numbers are starting to get bad and bad. The more and more countries in Africa adopt the Western ideologies and the Western civilizations and the Western ways of doing things, the more these numbers get bad and bad. High divorce rates, less and less marriages, and more fatherless homes. And all this leads to the decay of the society, the rise of crime, the rise of prostitution. All this leads to the decay of the society. So what I'm saying is, as Africans, as the world keeps on changing, as we evolve and adopt these other ideas and these other Western influences, we must guard and protect the core values of our societies, which is the family. The family needs to be protected. It is a value that we need to cherish, because without the family, the fabric of the society is destroyed. The family is the cornerstone of communities. Communities are the ones that build nations. Nations are the ones that build continents. Continents ultimately build the world. So we need to cherish and protect the family. I might not be speaking to many people. I might not be speaking to a lot of people, but my hope and my wish with this video is to reach one person. Maybe that one person is you, who will understand that the family values affects the whole world. It affects how our society becomes. It affects how safe our societies are. It affects the moral compass of the whole society. For case in point, I can give you an example of Japan and China. These countries are facing a threat of an aging population and shrinking in population, which is affecting their productivity in the industrial sector. And this goes a long way to show you that a simple decision such as you and I choosing not to have kids, choosing not to raise kids, choosing not to get married can go all the way in affecting how our society will turn out to be in the future. So to my African brothers and sisters, let's cherish the family value. To a father who is out there with children, please remember and take care of your children. Be a responsible man. To the mothers who are out there, please be responsible mother. Take care of your children and raise them with the values that will build our societies, which builds safer societies and safer communities. The lawmakers cannot make policies on how we raise our own children. They can only make policies to try and arrest and try and enforce the law when someone has already broken the law. But us as a society, we are the ones who have the ability to arrest this problem before it even starts, by raising our kids in a proper way, by being available and by being present in the lives of our children.